What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys. Hope everybody's having an awesome day, morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever it is that you're watching this video. Guys, I want to kind of summarize or basically kind of put together everything that we've been talking about in regards to coaching and recruiting and, rebuilding a program or taking over a powerhouse program. Guys, become legend, okay? I watched a video yesterday where the guy was interviewing the some of the people that worked on this game, the lead producer and people like that. And guys, they are really diehard college football fans, and they are building a dynasty mode that's gonna be amazing. And we look back in college football, and we see a guy like Nick Saban, who's a legendary coach. Like, there was people around with Bear Bryant and them and stuff like that. Vince Lombardi. Like, it's cool to be in a generation where you get to experience and see a coach that's gonna go down forever in history. You know what I'm saying? In Nick Saban. I mean, the guy's coached at the NFL level to some success, He's coached at LSU, but, all of that, all of his different coaching venues led him to the University of Alabama, where his legacy really took off. And we are about to embark in our dynasty modes on a similar journey. Some of y'all are going to start off as offensive coordinators. Some of you are going to start off as defensive coordinators. Some of y'all are going to start off as head coaches. Regardless of your start, it's the journey that means the most. It's the journey that's going to lead us to those 30 seasons or whenever you choose to end your dynasty, leading us to that end, the mecca of when you become satisfied with your coaching career, be it 2 or 3 national championships. How many conference championships are you going to have? How many programs are you going to rebuild? At the end of the day, what is going to be your namesake as a coach in this game? Do you plan on starting as a coordinator at your favorite school, or do you want to start as a coordinator at a lesser school and hope that you get that job invite when your favorite school becomes available in the coaching carousel? One thing we have to note about this game, guys, is it's not going to be easy, but the journey is going to be enjoyable. Okay, we're going to look forward to those home games, packed stadiums and things like that, rebuilding the program up to prominence and stuff. Those are the things that we are looking forward to in this game. And even in video games, I guess it's more or less, it's a way to escape reality, man. Some people don't understand it. Why do y'all play these video games? Why do y'all care so much? It's a way to escape reality, man. Most of us are men, and most of us deal with real life issues. We got bills to pay. We got families to provide for. Be you in school, you got school classes, grades, everybody needs something that they can escape reality for, if just but for a moment, and that's why we care so much. That's why we put so much energy and passion into it. It's college football, man. And we are about to embark on the realest football game ever created. That's something to be excited about. My biggest concern with Dynasty Mode, and I don't think this will be in the game, but the ability to upgrade your stadium. One thing that I didn't like about NCAA 14 was that, hey, I could take a lesser school, say their attendance is like max 15,000, 20,000, okay? That school never really could become one of the toughest places to play because the attendance is so low, okay? And you couldn't upgrade the stadium. I would have to go in the team builder, recreate the school with a bigger stadium, but then I lose all the jersey combinations and things like that. I could have the real roster, but guess what? I'd have to start over from scratch, basically. That's a big issue to me. Not a deal-breaking issue, but it's a big issue to me. Also, with conference realignments and conference invites, one of the things that these conferences do look for is attendance at your games. All right. That's a big deal. I personally feel that one feature that could go under the radar is being able to upgrade your stadium in the game. It's already in Madden. All I'm asking EA to do is put that same concept in this video game. That way, when we're rebuilding, say, with the Kennesaw State, whose stadium isn't that big, that we could upgrade that stadium to house, instead of 19, 20,000, house 30, 40, 50,000. Okay? And then if we continue to play with that school, upgrade it again to where now we can house 60, 70,000. That should be a possibility in this game. Guys, I want to take y'all a look at something real quick. Let me pull this up for y'all so y'all can see what we're looking at here. All right. I would assume that this same concept is going to carry over. First of all, I don't know who playing this dynasty that got my Longhorns at a 2-star, but that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That's blasphemous. Anyway, I have to digress. Guys, your school is going to be similarly made up of this same makeup: academic prestige, campus lifestyle, coach loyalty, coach prestige, conference prestige, championship contender, facilities, fan base, pro potential, program stability, program tradition, television exposure, and I would imagine they could add another one that would be your brand, okay? Because that's going to be a big deal, or one of these may change. Television exposure may be more related to your brand, all right? In NCAA 14, you could easily win a national championship in 2 years with a low-tier school. I could take Louisiana Tech, put them in the SEC, go undefeated, win the national championship in 1 year. And here's what I'm trying to explain to some people. While you may be able to do that, okay, even in 14, guys, if I did this and won a national championship contender wouldn't go up to an A+. All right? These elements of your school actually take time to upgrade. But what I'm saying for this game is, you put Louisiana Tech in the SEC and plan to go undefeated, that's probably not going to happen, because ratings actually matter in this game. Okay, there's a great disparity between top players and not so top players with the wear and tear system and all that. We've explained all of that, guys. And if you're not familiar with what I'm looking at here, these all contributed to your school's overall prestige, all right? Academic prestige was tied to how many players left your school early. So if you were a successful program, okay, and you had a bunch of juniors leaving early, going to the NFL and not graduating, your academic prestige wouldn't be very high. But then those lower tier schools where people stay to their senior year and graduate, they have a higher academic prestige. So recruits that are interested in academics, hey, looking at this particular school or this particular, that's not going to be very high. They may not be interested in University of Texas because in this point here, their academic prestige is C+. Campus lifestyle, hey, win games, campus lifestyle improves. Okay. Coach loyalty, that's tied to keeping your promises. You make promises to these recruits, and if you keep them, hey, guess what? Your coach loyalty is going to go up. It's not going to go up in one season. It takes time for this to build. Your coach prestige is tied to your success on and off the field. It's a combination of you keeping your promises as well as you reaching goals in your contracts, okay, and winning games. Conference prestige is tied to the conference that you in. The SEC is going to be A+ off top. S if they even got it that high, And the better teams do in your conference is gonna equate to this as well. Championship contender, people think that's just all about winning games. It is, yes, but it's also about the players that you have on your roster. They took that into account with being a championship contender. I could have won the national championship and lost 15 seniors, 11 starters on offense, and it's probably going to affect me being a championship contender. It's going to affect this rating. Your athletic facilities is tied to your success on the field. Now, one thing I wish that they would do with this, like when it comes to facilities, show us the benefits of this. Like I said, allow us to upgrade our facilities. They've had it in the game before. Put it back in the game. Fan base, guys, if you're winning, your fan base is going to be off the charts. Whoever playing with the University of Texas, they've been losing like crazy because that ain't good. Pro potential, very simple. How many guys are going to the NFL? The more guys go to the NFL, the higher this rating is. Recruits are going to care about this in this game. Program stability. All right. Is your program winning? Are you turning over coaches a lot? Okay. If you can't keep a OC and a DC, the stability of your program isn't going to be very high. If you got players transferring out all the time, program stability is probably going to drop. And then program tradition. You are responsible for this, building your tradition. Okay. And it's just tied to winning games as well. Television exposure. Hey, man, you win more games, you get on TV a lot more. Okay. And then, of course, like I assume they would add brand exposure and stuff like that, which has to do with NIL, even though NIL itself isn't in the game. They changed it to kind of say brand exposure. Does that make sense? All right. And then you're looking here at NCAA 14, the recruiting prospect pitch info. Okay. So you have an athlete, 6'4", 200 pounds athlete. He's a 4-star guy. Washington State is at the top of his list. But they're showing you they don't know what this prospect wants, but you're looking at the school and how they're rated. Academic prestige, C+, campus lifestyle, a C. Coach experience, okay? I don't think I saw that one on there. See, that one wasn't on this. Maybe this, yeah, that's from 14. I remember the background on this. Maybe this one isn't from 14. I'm not sure. It could be. It could just be a more in-depth thing. Coach experience. I remember that did used to be a thing in previous NCAA games. It was a B. Coaching prestige, conference prestige, championship contender, athletic facilities, fan base, early playing time. Okay? That could be a thing as well. This one was a B, meaning that their depth chart ain't very deep. Proximity to home. Okay? C+. Okay, this one is more in depth for the athletes. This is 14. I'm tripping, y'all. Program stability, program tradition, television exposure, and then which one did I miss? Pro potential. Okay. So you kind of get what I'm getting at, man. By being the head guy at your school, okay, whenever you do end up being a head coach, building your program, guys, it's going to be more than just about winning games and winning championships. You're going to have to manage keeping your guys there to graduate as seniors. It's great if they go to the NFL. That's going to help your pro potential. But if you have a bunch of juniors leaving early, it's going to affect your academic prestige. Now, you may say, man, I don't care about academics. I want to win games. Guys, the players that are going to care about academics are generally going to be your players with higher awareness. Just like in Road to Glory, if your GPA is high, you're going to get a boost to your awareness on the field. It does play a factor. Okay? It plays a factor. Okay, you want to increase your coaching loyalty? Keep your promises. And it makes you account for whenever you're doing recruiting is not passing out a bunch of promises that you can't keep. Because then now, as opposed to here, it's way different here than it is now. Because here, you don't keep your promises, the player will be upset, and the only hit that you took was to your coaching loyalty, all right? And maybe to your prestige, but now these guys will transfer. So you got to account for that. You are now held accountable for your team. And there's a lot of challenges that are before us as being coaches. Now, one thing that I do like that they said about the game is that you're not going to be able to max out your coaching skill tree. You're not going to be able to do it. They said you could play all 30 seasons. You are not going to be able to max out your coaching skill tree. So if you want to be a recruiter that has strengths in recruiting, if you want to be a motivator or a tactician, those are the three trees. You can bring on an offensive and defensive coordinator that is like-minded. Say, I want to be a recruiter, and my offensive and defensive coordinator's archetype is recruiting. There's going to be bonuses to that. You're going to need your other coaches to help you max out some of these abilities. All right? Which is super duper cool. We hadn't seen the coaching abilities yet. We'll get to see them. But I mean, we could pretty much guesstimate as to what they are. But if I want to be the best recruiter possible as a head coach, I'm going to need to bring on an offensive and or a defensive coordinator that's also specialized in recruiting, because there's certain elements, certain levels of recruiting that you're not going to be able to reach without those coordinators specializing in that as well. So what do you want to be known as? Hey, I can be a great recruiter. If you're trying to build a program, hey, maybe recruiting is your deal. Maybe you bring on an offensive and defensive coordinator that specializes in recruiting. That way you can get those big time recruits there to turn the program around. All right. Maybe you want to be a motivator. Motivator is probably going to be the type of coach that's going to specialize in composure and hot streaks and stuff like that. Okay. Or maybe you want to be a tactician that's going to increase your players' awareness on the field. All right. Either way it goes, no matter what archetype you choose, you're from what I've read and heard, you're not going to be able to max that out unless you got two other coaches or at least one other coach that's special. There's going to be certain bonuses that you can't reach unless your other coaches are all on the same page. You want to build your program around motivation, you bring those other two coaches on that are motivators. Okay. Or you can just kind of balance it out. Some people like a balanced experience. I may want to be a recruiter as a head coach, bring an offensive coordinator that's a motivator and a defensive coordinator that's a tactician. You see what I'm saying? The choice is yours, but at the end of the day, you as a head coach are going to have a ton of responsibility, because these coaches, also your coordinators, there's going to be players tied to them. There's going to be players that bond with them, that they have recruited, that remember them, that could potentially hop in the transfer portal and come to your school. So do you hire a guy that has a player attached to him that's a 4 or 5 star guy in the hopes that maybe he hops in the portal and comes to your school? Now you're going to take that stuff into consideration. All right. You want to bring on a new coordinator, you're going to take a risk. Are the players that's tied to him some very important players that may hop in the transfer portal? That's very realistic, man. And it's amazing. And I love it. I'm happy to see that in the game. What type of coach are you going to be? How are you going to build your program? Okay. Be it you starting at the low of the lows and trying to raise to the highest of the highs. You want to stick all 30 years at one program and build them up. You want to hop around, or you want to start big time. Regardless of the road that you choose, you're going to be faced with various different challenges, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. The one thing I love about college football games and college football is that every 3 to 4 years, you have a completely different looking team, as opposed to the NFL where you got the same team essentially for 10 years. College is vastly different. So it's always something new. It's always something exciting, and it's always something adventurous. Guys, this evening we'll be doing the defensive playbook. I think somebody asked me to go over the 4-6, so we'll do that. Okay, get ready, man. Get ready. There's a load more content to come, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I ask that you subscribe to the channel, man. It helps me out tremendously, and it doesn't cost you anything at all. Like, dang, imagine just being able to click a button, not having to pay, and it's helping somebody. That's all I got for right now, y'all. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.
EA Sports. It's in the game.